The ad I placed in the Sunday Oakland Tribune read, "Free puppies to good homes. Mother, an elegant pedigree black Labrador. Father, a dashing traveling salesman." It was the summer of 1972, and I, Mrs. John Nathan Haynes, was a recent bride, a very busy bride that Sunday afternoon, as we were inundated with people coming to our home. It was a lovely old home, built in the Oakland Hills, 2 stories, Tudor style, this sweeping brick patio, built in a scoop of earth so that there were 27 concrete steps coming up to the street level. And when the people first arrived at the street level, they hesitated as they looked down at this wild merry bedlam on the patio. There were 8 black puppies running in every direction. Jamala, their mother, frantically trying to herd them into one place. Woof, woof, woof. Orpheus, the black cat, who delighted in teasing the puppies into a chase and then leaping up on the retaining wall just in time. Leaping up on me, oh, is Sassy, my little black toy poodle, a recent remnant of my single days when we lived in San Francisco in an apartment, just the 2 of us. But now, there are all these animals and all these children, 6 of them, my recently acquired stepchildren, my beautiful black stepchildren. Marche, little John Harvey, Stephanie, Terry, and Daryl. Oh, honey, be careful climbing the avocado tree and watch out for the puppies when you jump down. Oh, yes, this is the place. Come on down and pick out a perfect puppy to take home. And the people did come down. And one by one, we saw the puppies leave. The sky was turning those gorgeous colors, magenta and gold, as we watched that last little puppy make his way. My husband said, "Success." But the children said, "Ooh, all those adorable puppies, and we just gave them away." Oh, come on, babies. Let's go into the kitchen. I'm making your favorite dinner tonight. Chili dogs. Oh, dogs. Come. Sit down. Now, I know that was difficult giving away all those puppies, but we still have quite a menagerie here at Haynes Court. I mean, we did keep Jamala, the mom, and one of the puppies, our favorite, Sasha, Orpheus, the black cat, and Sassy, yes, all right, baby. And we didn't give away that handsome rogue out there in the living room, nor any of each of you, my pretties. And have you noticed that in this household, all of we creatures, great and small, are black, except me? The children looked a little startled. And I thought, oh dear, I hadn't meant to offend them. But then very quickly they were punching each other. Oh, that was a great joke. We never thought about it. Everybody's black but Jeannie. But Terry, age 6, jumped up very worried, and she said, "Well, but the stove is white." And I said, "Baby, someday I'm going to write a piece, and that's what I'll call it." When I was Terry's age, we were living in this little town of Quincy, Illinois. I was in kindergarten, a Catholic grammar school, and we sat in these little wooden benches built for 2. Boys sat with boys, girls sat with girls, unless you misbehaved. Because then Sister Mary Alice would make a boy sit with a girl, or a girl sit with a boy. See, that was the supreme punishment, having to sit with a member of the opposite sex. But in our class, there was one colored boy and one colored girl. They weren't brother and sister. They always sat together, and they never misbehaved. Him in his starched white shirt and her in her starched white blouse. The two of them, their small brown hands folded, placed proper on the desk in front of them. Well, that's the way we were all supposed, he said. But none of the rest of us did it all the time. I don't ever remember hearing their voices or their laughter or see them just run on the playground. I was born on the campus of the University of Chicago, where my father was earning one of the first master's degrees in social work administration. His employment took us to live in many different cities and towns, initially all in the Northeast. And with the exception of those two, my memory is that the teachers treated us all alike. And we kids, we didn't know the difference. We were just kids growing up. Until junior high school. Pajama parties. Oh, those wonderful all-night fests. And then, with these adolescent brains of ours just bursting with metaphysical issues, then we did discuss race, religion, sex, just a little bit. Well, this was in the middle of 50s. But the boys, oh yes, the boys, and the Friday night dances at the YMCA. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Make him the cutest that I've ever seen. Tonight's dance is pretty special for me, because I'm wearing lipstick for the first time. Well, with Mom's permission. Hey, Daddy, I'm ready. Oh, there you are. Oh, no. He's waving a copy of Time magazine. Asked me, do I see this photo? How could I help it? Spread across the top of the page, a seated portrait, 9 white men in black judicial robes. And he's all excited. He says, look, look, look. The caption, it's a single word. It says unanimous. My daddy loves Time magazine. He clips from it, he quotes from it. And when there's a story that really moves him, well, he just has to share it with me. Don't you think, Daddy, we could do this a little later when we get to the dance? A foolish question. Because my daddy had already assumed center stage, framed by my bedroom doorway. And with glasses on, he began to read. Brown versus Topeka, Kansas, Board of Education. It was 12:52 p.m., May 17, 1954. The red velour drapes hung behind the great doors and every seat was filled. Speaking in a clear voice, Chief Justice Earl Warren said, "Education is the principal instrument in awakening the child to cultural values, in preparing him for professional training, and in helping him to adjust normally to his environment." Daddy, that's very nice, but can we just get to the dance? Just listen to the eloquence of this language. Are you listening? To separate Negro children solely because of their race generates a feeling of inferiority that may affect their hearts and minds in a way unlikely ever to be undone. We conclude that separate but equal is inherently unequal. Oh, Jeannie, I envy you. You will see things in your lifetime that I could only dream of happening in the realm of social justice. How exciting. And there will be difficult times, too. I know you want to get to the dance, but there's one more paragraph. This is such a moment in history. You listening? The lives and values of school children in 21 states will be altered. And eventually, the whole social pattern of the South. Wow. Okay, let's get you to the dance. You're looking very pretty tonight. Oh, lipstick. Hmm.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, we're gonna rock.
Whoa, the Y is jumping tonight. Everybody's here. Sandy, Patty. Hi, Scooter. Rainey. Hi, Rainey. Michael? But as usual, there aren't too many colored kids here. And they all just hang out over there in the corner. Rodessa. Hi, Rodessa. She hardly recognizes me. I don't understand it. It's so different on the dance floor than at school. Oh, no. She's dancing with James Henry again. Now, you know that isn't right. She doesn't even like James Henry. See, I know who she really likes. Is Michael Livingston. He used to be my boyfriend. And in math class, they just flirt. But here, they don't even look at each other. When Daddy came to pick me up after the dance, he said to hurry to the car because there was a newscast that he didn't want to miss. The United States Supreme Court has blatantly ignored all law and precedent. Why, they've lowered themselves to the level of common politics. But I, Herman Talmadge, the governor of the sovereign state of Georgia, do promise that we will fight for our right to maintain the continued, the permanent segregation of the races. It was just a few weeks later, summer's evening. We were finishing supper, and my daddy, rather ceremoniously, was rolling up his napkin. I thought, uh-oh, something's coming. I've just accepted a new job as the Associate Director of the Community Chest of the Greater Metropolitan Area of Atlanta, Georgia. Daddy, how could you? You know, Ramey just gave me my ID bracelet. The South? You expect me to leave all my friends, my school, our home? Oh, Mother said, wait till you see our new home. Well, she was hopeless off on her decorating schemes. But my father said, wait till you see your new school. You'll make new friends. Atlanta is a great city. But I do need to explain to you that it will be different living in the South. How so? Well, for one thing, there won't be any Negroes in the community where we live. There won't be any Negroes in your school. But the Supreme Court just passed that thing, that integration. That will take a long time. And meanwhile, You're not going to see Negroes where we go, most of the places. In public places where they're allowed, they're required to use separate marked entrances, separate marked restrooms, separate marked water fountains. Separate marked restrooms, entrances, and water fountains? Oh, Daddy, that is ridiculous. I agree. I do agree. But you're not going to go down there and get up on some soapbox and try to tell people how things ought to be. Oh, Jeannie, I admire your passion. I always have. I always will. But we're the newcomers moving into their culture. And in time, I hope you'll learn to appreciate the difference, big difference, between your northern upbringing and the southern experience. Oh, Jeannie, just look at all these wonderful fabrics. What do you think? This little one with the yellow daisies? Oh, or this one with the little blue forget-me-nots. Aren't those sweet? Oh, yeah, Mama, that one with the blue forget-me-nots, that's fine. Wait a minute. Look at this gorgeous chintz. Oh, Mom, this is so boring. We've been here for hours. For some reason, whenever we moved, one of the first things my mother had to do was make new kitchen curtains. So shortly after we arrived in Atlanta, she takes me to Rich's department store. This wonderful department store, 7 stories, chandeliers, and we go directly to the yard goods section. Mom, can I please just go up to the teen section? Yeah, you'll let me? Oh, Mom, you're a peach. You're now a Georgia peach. And then very carefully, I walked down the aisle so she wouldn't change her mind. Turned the corner to go to the elevators, and there they were. 2 identical water fountains. This one said white. This one said colored. Well, with all due deliberate speed, I marched myself over to that one marked colored, and I turned on that water, and I drank, and I drank, and I drank, and I drank, till I had a belly full of ice cold water. And then I was ready to turn around and meet my adversaries. But no one had paid me the slightest bit of attention. So there I was, this liberal teenager, thrust into the deep South. Well, I decided it must have been planned that way, so that I could be a special friend to the new colored kids coming into my school. But when I got to my school, not only were there no Negroes, there were no Northerners either. And the kids tease me. They call me a damn Yankee. And they said they couldn't understand me because of my accent. I made a friend with Jerry. She lived right around the corner, and we'd go back and forth to school. But she said I couldn't come into her home because of Sherman's march through Georgia. But she explained. See, Mama says that when those soldiers came through, they burned everything. Her granddaddy's home and his church and all his fine horses. And he never was the same again. We studied the Civil War a lot in school. Well, down there they call it the war between the states. And my history teacher, Miss Jefferson, Oh, she would aim those watery eyes directly at me. And with these triple chins that trembled, she would rage on about the atrocities, the unforgivable atrocities of the Union Army. I began to date Tommy, young Southern gentleman, a young Southern Baptist gentleman. And one night, he borrowed his dad's car, this fabulous convertible, and we're driving downtown. And somewhere in the conversation, I happened to mention that I was a Catholic. Screech! You're a Catholic? Yeah. And he grabbed a hold of that wheel, and he spun that car right in the middle of Peachtree Boulevard. And he drove like a maniac all the way back to my house, threw open the door, and never talked to me again. Well, I had to laugh at these insults. They were so preposterous. But as my daddy says, all prejudice is preposterous. Meanwhile, without realizing it, I acquired a Southern accent. Well, it's just so easy. It just rolls off your tongue. But now, a year later, when we moved to Florida, my classmates said they couldn't understand me because of my Southern accent. But in spite of its northern influence, Florida still maintained segregated communities and segregated schools, including the University of Florida, where I earned my bachelor's degree, my BS degree in journalism, but not my MRS degree. And come graduation, I'm moping around with all the rest of my sorority sisters who have these naked ring fingers. Well, if we're not going to get married, what are we going to do? And then Joanne, bless her, said, let's go to New York City. Yes. Yes. And in just 2 weeks, I landed this wonderful job in the Community Relations Department of Columbia Records. Good morning, ma'am. My name is Jeanne Snyder. I'm the new girl that they hired as your assistant yesterday when you were out ill. I hope you're feeling better, ma'am. Trying to make contact with this striking Negro woman who's very busy painting these long magenta fingernails. She looks a little bit like Whoopi Goldberg, only when she's made up and taller. And, well, her hair not in braids. Wasn't the fashion then. No, perm, straight, slick back into a gold comb. Don't ever call me ma'am. Phony kiss up, Southern talk. The name is Gladys Johnson. And you must be the college girl. Out of all these applicants, including a very good friend of mine who knows the music business, and they give me some starry-eyed youngster. As if I have time to train you. You see all of these cabinets? Inside there's a fucking file for every fucking artist that Columbia has, and they all need work. Well, move, college girl. You expect me to take you by the hand, lead you around, teach you how to file? See all those photos stacks of paper and get these fucking news clippings off my desk. Supposedly, you can write. Well, you've got your job cut out for you, honey. Because all the bios need updating. Very important. So when an artist dies, we can give out the complete, correct story. All these pink slips. Everybody wants something from Gladys. Start with the Andy Williams bio. No, he didn't die. Some gossip columnist trying to make a bad boy out of him. Oh, Jesus Christ. Get me a photo of the Duke. A great photo of the Duke. Ellington? Mr. Corcoran. Making his entrance is this tall fashion plate of a man with this shock of bleach blonde hair, a silk scarf billowing behind him, and a gold cane. Gladys, honey, oh God, am I glad to see you back. Filling in the new girl, I see, hi, Doll. Have her start right away on the Doris Day bio. We need to shave off a few years again. And honey, don't let anybody even near my office. I'm finishing the contract on this fabulous new artist. Motown will gag that we got her. Oh, such a voice, such lungs. But I keep telling her, Aretha, honey, you got to lose a little weight. And you know all she ever says to me is, shit. Oh, God, this hangover. Ciao, for now, Bella. Well, don't just stand there, college girl, gawking. Get the Doris Day file. Better not let Deborah Isham see you slacking off like this. You met her, right? Skinny white bitch. Runs this department. Stays in her office. Lives in her office. And where's my photo of the Duke? You call this a great photo? This is a stock photo. And I told you to get those fucking clippings off my desk and watch out for my water glass. And so it went with Gladys. Day after punishing day, I'd start on one thing and she'd demand something else. Right fucking now, she'd say, with these magenta fingernails jabbing the air in front of me. And I didn't like it. Well, who would? But there was something more to it. There was this gnawing inside my belly. And then it moved up. It had a voice. Just who does she think she is? A Negro talking to you like that? No, this is not me. This is not me. When they hired me, they said they were very concerned because they could hear my southern accent, and they said my boss would be a woman, a Negro, and that she was pretty tough, but I said, oh, you don't know who I am. And I told them about my philosophy and my dad and how I was raised in the North. But for the past 8 years, 1/3 of my life, I've lived in the South. And the only Negroes I saw, they were pushing brooms, sweeping streets, taking out the garbage, maids, cooks. There was no conversation between us. They knew their place. But Gladys was so different. educated, smart, sassy, and certainly conversant. But a Negro, just the same. No, 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 no. What is this thing, this sense of superiority? Because I'm white? But that's preposterous. All prejudice is preposterous. What am I going to do? Well, for starters, I'll be the best assistant that Gladys ever dreamt of happening. And I stayed late at night, and I filed and I filed and I filed and I typed and I typed and I filed and I filed, and pretty soon you could see clean surfaces. Gladys accepted my efforts with a sense of entitlement. And then I began to realize that she was just kind of leaving work for me on her desk. And so I would, get it off of there, mindful of her ever-present water glass, which one day, pure vodka. Well, of course. That's why her tongue is permanently green from all those florets she chews. And then she began to stay out later and later for her lunches. I got pretty good at covering for her until one afternoon, and the skinny white bitch, she kept asking for it, asking for it, asking for it, and then, oh my God, she's coming into our office. She never comes into our office.
Where's Gladys? It's 3:30.
Oh, Miss Ishland, well, she said she'd come back real soon. She was meeting with a young artist at the...
You told me that an hour ago.
Well, there was another young artist, and I'm sure she'll be back just any minute now, just any minute. Oh, look, she's here now. It was late when Gladys got back into our office. Everyone else had gone home. She looked at me across the room with the look I'd never seen before. Thanks for covering for me, college girl. Listen, tomorrow night I'm taking you out. Now, here's what I want you to wear. Get yourself one of those new mini dresses. Black. Black stockings, black heels, high as you can stand up. And of course, we never go out without doing our fingernails and wearing French perfume. And that night, my roommates and I went out. We went to Orbox, and I bought everything in black. I never took to the nail polish, but I loved my first bottle of French perfume, a precious 1/8 of an ounce. It was on my desk that morning. Gee, thanks, Gladys. Oh, it's nothing. Something from one of my many, many contacts. I like the dress. You look good in black. And then she laughed that laugh. Oh, I wish I could do it justice. Especially that one. Because it was the first time she had ever laughed with me. And that night, we had these fabulous seats for the opening of Duke Ellington at Town Hall. He opens with Satin Doll. Bum, bum, bum. And then he says, from the audience, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the original Satin Doll. And the lights beamed down on this gorgeous woman who stood up. Miss Lena Holmes. And the jewels shimmered and her eyes were flashing and she waved to us and we clapped. Oh, Gladys, thank you so much for tonight. Well, honey, it's not over yet. The end of the concert. We stepped outside to a summer's night rain. Oh, darling, just catch that rain, honey. Just put it on your face. Makes you feel so moist. Taxi! Village Vanguard, please. And we went into this place. It was so dark, and the smoke was so heavy, I could hardly see. But there was all this commotion. Gladys! Hi, honey! Hey, sugar! Oh, you looking good tonight. Ooh-wee. And then this honey-colored man stood up and he said, Gladys, honey, where the fuck you been? Bring that little white girl over here with you and sit your ass down. And so we were moved into this little half-circle booth, and everybody squeezed over. And when my eyes became accustomed to the dark, I'm sitting next to John Hendricks, Lambert Hendricks and Ross. And he's scratching, he's scribbling on all these little white napkins. The words, baby, it's the words. You gotta catch them when you can. Hush, John. Chico's coming. And then these 5 men came out with Chico Hamilton in the lead with this mane of black, curly, shiny, glistening curls. His album, Blue Sands, had just been released by Columbia Records and was already climbing the charts. He sat down in front of this magnificent set of drums, and he picked up these sticks with these little white pom-poms on the end. Ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. Ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. And then the bass man made love to his instrument. Boom, ba-ba-boom, ba-ba-boom, ba-ba-boom. The piano, the clarinet overlaid their notes, and then the flute took up the melody. Jazz, new to my ears. And I just sat down and I let that music just seep into my bones. And I felt all these warm bodies relaxed against mine. I took a deep drag from my cigarette and watched my smoke mingle and get lost with the rest of the smoke in this scene. And I wanted a camera there. Not the kind that just goes click. No, you know, the kind like that are in the movies that go around and around and around so I could keep for always this scene, this